welcome back to another interesting episode of the Football Fan Zone. With me here, we have the usual suspects. In fifth place, we have Mr. Uzo. Mr. Uzo, how you doing?
Yes, yeah,
No, no,
sixth
no,
man.
no,
Come
no.
on.
Don't question don't question
Okay,
Pius.
okay, okay.
As I said, in fifth place, how you feeling, Mr. Uzo?
Yeah, it was a season full of twists and turns. And, we're here now. Glad that it's over. I'm so glad that the season is over. We move
No,
on to
same,
next season, man.
same. I share the same feelings. And in sixth place, we have our second suspect. Watch out, Mr. Adams. Adams, how you feeling
Man,
today?
football is always interesting, man. You never know. You never know where it could go, but yeah, I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
Guys, me, I'm particularly feeling how would Pius phrased it? I don't know how I'm feeling right now, but I'm feeling something. Now that's for Pius. That's not for me.
Nah, and
But,
Pius would
but
be
I'm
like,
feeling
Chooks, I understand how you feel, man. I definitely understand how you
yeah,
feel. Eh,
but but I know I'm feeling something. But yeah, since Pius is not here today, and I don't have anything to cook, I'm going to be the
Um,
moderator.
we our co-host, be our main host, ran out of energy, just like his coach. So the guy's tired.
Yeah,
So he's unable to be on the pod today because
he has to sleep.
something about those Merseyside guys, man. I guess all those inhalers they've been taking all these years, been pressing out of
Yeah,
their skin. It
the thing
finally caught
killed
up
him.
with them. But yeah, Shugs, how far? Our resident chief bottle officer. I mean,
Calm down, calm down.
the closest person to the title is the person that bottled first. So,
Calm down,
no,
calm down, calm down. On
not,
Anyway, on today's agenda, well, we're going to review each club. Not each club. We're going to review Tottenham and Chelsea's season, the good, the bad. Then we'll talk about Liverpool's players of the season, and then we can dive or delve, as Niger Twitter will say, we'll delve into the FA Cup,
FA
Europa, and
Cup.
Champions League finals. So yeah, we
Europa. Oh
can
yeah.
we can start with the most trending club on my timeline, Chelsea. Mr. Adams, talk to me. And
No,
I know
bro.
your season started off horrible. Each day you wore a new hat here. Some days you wore white, some days you didn't. And some way, somehow, I find you sixth. Wagwan, brother. Talk to me.
Bro, I don't even understand, man. After the 5-0 game against Arsenal, it just changed, man. It completely changed. I wasn't expecting it. And I kind of feel weird in a way because I'm like, is this real? I feel like I'm in a weird spot because I think I want the season to be longer. Like I want to be convinced. It feels real, like right, the run of game feels real, but I'm not like 100% convinced. Like I want to see us play more games, but at the same time, I guess that's just the story of the season, and we just had to start off that way and kind of mature our way or grind our way to get to this point. But yeah, I'll take sixth place all day. I didn't even I had no idea that we would finish that high up the table. So
Mm.
yeah, it was good to finish sixth, especially finishing above Manchester United. By the way, Manchester United is one shameless institution, man. Like all season long, they kept giving us crap, saying, "No, we're not like Chelsea. Don't compare us to Chelsea. We're so much better than them." And they finished with -1 goal difference. Not just that, their neighbors just did four in a row, and they were shamelessly supporting Arsenal. Like, you guys, bro, I don't understand that
Supporting
club.
who? You're not
Huh?
supporting us.
Sorry, they were
Mind you,
shamelessly supporting Man City, the same club that equaled their treble record last
nah, they
season.
don't have shame. They have, they
Man,
have,
like
they are
you
quite
guys
shameless.
should freaking try, man. This whole Pep era, they haven't even done anything like throughout this whole Pep era. Like I can look at my team and say we stole one Champions League from them, right? Yeah, I'll be proud to say that we stole the Champions League for them, and that's something that if you look back now with hindsight, it looks like something that was impossible, right? With this super team, obviously. And Manchester United haven't done anything so far in the last, like, what, 6, 7 years. It's not looking like they're going to do anything in the
I mean,
coming season.
you're forgetting that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had a winning record in the league against Pep. They're gonna hang that up in Old Trafford next.
Yeah, I know
Nah, man.
their fans are shameless. I have a friend, Jeff. If he watches this, he goes, "Oh, if United win the FA Cup, they've had a better season in his eyes than Arsenal." And I told him, brother, your stadium is an aquarium. Of course, it has to be your own eyes. You think it's my eyes that I'll be used to judge. So yeah, their fan base is delusional, useless, whatever word you want to throw out there. Let's go to Mr. Uzo. Can you give us your own take on Chelsea's up and
And
down season?
uh, let's stay on Adams and his thoughts on
Oh
Pochettino.
yeah, no, we're gonna circle
The
back to that.
We'll
rumors are
get there.
swirling.
Yeah,
But I mean, if anyone remembers, I'm the only one who rightfully predicted that Chelsea would finish above Man United. I maintained all season that Chelsea was the better team, that they weren't in the same positions, and that
Did you?
United had a lot more problems. I maintained that all season.
Oh, yeah, I
There was
think
there
so.
was a point where guys tried to get me. They said that there's a table lie. I said I think it's lying, and I told you. I said with the fixtures you have coming up, there's no excuse why
Oh, yeah, I
this
remember
team
that.
cannot finish in the Europa League spot. And yeah, you guys picked form at the right time, even through the injuries, which is probably the more impressive part. Is you were doing a lot of the turnaround happened even without your important players coming back into the team. Guys like Enzo Fernandez, they weren't in the team. It's remarkable. Not saying that there's any correlation between both things, but it's just adds to how amazing the feat is that I believe someone was saying around 700 million of the 1 billion that you spent wasn't on the pitch. It's impressive. So to accomplish top six finish with only a 500 million worth squad, that's amazing from the mighty Chelsea. But honestly, I'm happy to be proven right. Like I said, it was an impossible job from the start. I also think it speaks to the quality of the league, though. Because I started to think about it. The fact that we were in with a shout for top four in the final weeks, the fact that you guys were able to sneak back into the Europa League spots, Newcastle were able to sneak back into Conference League spots. Well, actually, I don't think I think United gets the Conference League spot. So,
but
well,
Do they? No, no, no.
is in Newcastle.
I
no,
think
because
it's
they
Newcastle. Newcastle.
Newcastle
It's
is seven,
okay.
Newcastle.
right?
So Newcastle gets the Conference League spots. It's just it's strange because by my account, all of these teams had bad seasons, like
Yeah.
terrible seasons. To go that long of a stretch as you guys did, as United did, losing games, dropping points, drawing games, conceding goals, and just seemed like the teams were in turmoil. Like there was the crisis mode, all across the board. The stretch that we went on, winning 3 out of 10 games to end the season. It's kind of sad that these are the top 6 teams in the land. Because I don't think that we played, and I think this is why all of the Premier League clubs got dumped out of Europe in pretty much every competition. We're not in any semifinals or finals. Even in the Conference League, Aston Villa got dumped out. In the Europa League, Liverpool, West Ham all got dumped out. Brighton. In the
Oh, look
Champions
at the
League, we
quality
know
of those
we know
teams, man.
United and Newcastle finished rock bottom of their group. I think the Premier League is a farmers league.
West
and
Ham,
that's
bro.
I mean, that's just the honest truth. The Premier League is a farmers league. The quality of this league is not as high as it was in previous seasons. I mean, you just look at the top four. We've got Aston Villa and Liverpool with a new coach that are going to be in the Champions League next season. We got an Arsenal team that's never won the Champions League that's going to the Champions League next season. And then we got City, who won one Champions League after spending almost £2 billion over the span of 9 years. So I don't know. I look at the league right now and I'm like, I'm looking at La Liga, I'm looking at Serie A, I'm looking at the Bundesliga, like especially with their performance this year in Europe, and I'm like, I don't know that we can brag about the quality of this. Of course, it's the most popular, the most monetary, successful league. Of course, it's all of that. But in reflecting on the whole at the season, I just think the quality of the league is bad. But I'm not surprised that Chelsea were able to pick themselves up, remember who they are, and start to right the ship. So it remains to be seen where we go next year. It's going to be really interesting, the expectations that are placed on Chelsea for next season, because it's kind of a mixed bag. It's hard to judge. I think if you ended in eighth, we'd be going into next season saying, I don't know, maybe Chelsea like top six would be good. But now we're going into next season, and I don't think top six again would be even decent. I think now you need to push for top four. I was listening to Rola's podcast, shameless plug, Sideline Insights with Rola, our good friend of the pod, friend of the show. And I was hearing top three, so expectations are rising, for the $1 billion man. So exciting times. We'll see.
Check that out, by the way.
Um, to be honest, I didn't really watch any Chelsea games. The only one I caught was when we flogged them 5-0. So I can't really give my own input on Chelsea, but I'm happy for you, Adams.
Fairs,
If
man.
top if
Fairs.
top six is where you want to be, if you like it, I love it. But
If you like it, I love it.
to go back to the whole Chelsea thing, Adams, I'm giving your overall assessment of Pochettino. I know you and him have had a love-hate relationship. You threw him out of the house, let him back in. You made food for him. You threw his food away. Where are you right now with Poch? And if he left today, would you be happy with that, or would you have would the fan base feel some regrets? Tell
I,
me how you feel.
I think it's pretty easy, man. He stays. I think he has done enough. He has given himself some time. He wasn't perfect, right? He made some mistakes. Obviously the sports thing can never go away. Like that's never going to disappear. Like we always see him as a sportsman, and that relationship was rocky from the start, right? And that's why I like what I've seen so far. But like Uzo said, maybe it's the quality of the league. I'm not 100% convinced. Like I don't think, oh, now we've arrived. Oh, now we're that team. Let's go and win the Europa League, or let's try to get top four. I see the potential, but I need a bigger sample of games. Like I need to see more before I'm 100% convinced, right? This might be a purple patch for all we know, like, right? But I think the season ended too soon for us. It ended too soon for us. I was hoping, I wish we had like an extra month or like extra 5 games to properly assess like the uptick in form that we've seen. But having said that, that's not to take anything away from what he has done. It was a very difficult job, as you guys have been alluding to all season. And one thing is, he has always had the backing of the dressing room. Like normally, when teams are not doing well like this, you start to hear rumblings around saying, "Oh, this player doesn't like him. This player is revolting." But we never heard anything about that from Pochettino, and I feel like in that regard, it looks like he has brought unity to the team. He has improved a lot of the players, and I like to give credit where credit is due. Right, I see guys like Madueke during this stretch of games has been a lot better. Even Cucurella, Caicedo as well has really done well. Let's say in the last 10 games, Badiashile as he looks like a new player, or the old player that we signed, and there are a lot of things there. And normally it should be the right thing to do is to continue, right? Continuity. Let's see what can happen. And I know he's been stressing it. Like he's been stressing the fact that he needs 80% of this squad next season, because I won't be surprised if next season we add like 10 new players and we sell majority of the core of the team. Like obviously there's talk about selling Gallagher, Chaluba, and all the academy boys. I won't be surprised if that happens, right? Because these guys is not beyond what they can do. But obviously I think he definitely needs another chance, especially considering the names that we've been linked to. Like, come on, man. Like, Pochettino is 100% clear of those guys.
Well, that's very, very insightful. I think you guys won 7 straight games since April
And
or
I think it
six,
was five or
five,
six. Yeah.
oh, five straight games. But I think overall good season for Chelsea. Hopefully that's the last time we talk about them in this episode. On to a team that lost 5 games out of their last 7. Mr. Ozo, how do you feel about how the season started? At the beginning, you guys were on pace to be invincible, win the league, and kind of saw where that went. So give us your own overall assessment of Big Ange his first season. The
Yeah,
good, the bad,
technically
the ugly.
everyone starts on pace to be invincible. So, I guess we all weren't able. Um, yeah, it was on the whole it was a good season. I've been told that phase 1.0 of a rebuild, is as long as you don't finish less than eighth, then you're on the right track. As long as you end the season, and honestly, at Spurs, I'll add another one. As long as you end the season still in your job, that's amazing. He's the first manager to start and end the season as the Spurs manager since 2018. So,
Really?
yeah,
That's
Poch, since
crazy.
Poch got sacked, nobody has ended the season as our manager.
No
It's a
way.
poison job.
You need to go and do Thanksgiving in church. That's actually
No,
important.
no, that's why they. I think that's why he flew to Australia.
Conte and Mourinho didn't last the season.
Mourinho took over in October of 19, I believe, and then he led us into the pandemic. He started the next season and then got fired right before our cup final against City in February. Um, then not Nuno, but Mason took over for him, ended the season, and then the next season we started with Nuno. Nuno got sacked halfway through that season. Conte came in. He ended that season, started his season, and got sacked. And his assistant took over.
How come that
Assistant
doesn't get
got
spoken of
sacked.
enough? I've not heard a lot of people talk about that. That's crazy. That's
Yeah, I've told you we've been the diet Chelsea. You know when you see like Mountain Dew and then you see like Diet Dew next to it. We've just been the diet Chelsea. Spend way less money, sack all our managers, and win absolutely fuck all. It's just we're like just cosplaying Chelsea and we're pretending to do it, but doing it horribly wrong. It's like we have standards, but we don't. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh yeah, like we'll sack Mourinho before a final, but we won't spend any money in the window. It doesn't make any sense. Levy thinks he's something that he's not, obviously. But yeah, it's a massive success that he was able to start the season as the Spurs manager and end the season as the Spurs manager. So that already tells me that he did something right. Maybe that something right is not cussing out the board like the previous managers did, or losing every game. But yeah, it was an interesting season, as Pius likes to say. It was a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah, you guys definitely turned and twisted. I do have a
Yeah.
follow-up question, but I'll go to Adams first before we wrap up with Tottenham. Adams, how do you assess Tottenham season as a whole?
I think it's a very interesting one. No, well, it's a very interesting one because they started really well, but Uzo has always maintained and yeah, kind of created that perspective in my mind too that that was like a false start, and like it was. I mean, we just have to look at the team from last season and the player that they lost in Hurricane to get a more rounded view. But having said that, some of the performances were inexcusable, man. Like I watched some games and I'm like, bro, this team is the way they performed. I'm like, I just don't get it. Like I was just turning between, um, and I just want to talk about the Arsenal thing, man. Like I know we talked about it on the group chat, and I don't understand why Spurs fans feel that the way they feel. I don't get it. Like why? All right, let's move on. Okay. All right, first then.
I mean, my own assessment. Tottenham, another team I don't really watch unless we play them or if I have something to gain. Um, I was privileged to see them live, and
You
they
say he
actually
was
impressed.
privileged.
They actually impressed me the day I went to watch them. They kind of remind me of an old Arsenal team. It's like you're putting your hand into Pandora's box. So on one day you don't know what you're going to expect from this team. They can be good, they can be bad, they can be in the middle. But at the end of the day, I feel like they maybe underperformed in some regard. Just personally speaking, I feel like they should have comfortably clinched top four. Which comes to my next question for Mr. Uzo. Looking back at the last 7 games, do you think missing out on top four should be something that Ange should reflect on and be upset at, or you are comfortable with the fifth place finish?
If you asked me before the season, of course I would have taken fifth. If you asked me after January, I wanted to win the league, so you can see how expectations fluctuate. Ultimately, I think this is where we deserve to be. I think we were the fifth best team in the league. I thought Villa were better than us. They performed better in the bigger games. They might have had dips here and there, but they were playing Europe. They were tired. So they at least have an excuse. We played the fewest games in the entire country, us and Sheffield. So we have no excuse for the way that we performed. So this is our level. We weren't tired. We had just as many injuries as the likes of Newcastle and Chelsea and United. So we can't rely on that as an excuse. Liverpool probably had the same amount of injuries as us. So ultimately, I think fifth is our level as far as this season. And I think if we want to go up a level, then we're gonna have to go into the market. We're gonna have to get rid of some guys. We're gonna have to give the squad more time with the manager and kind of see what it's about. But I think on the whole, I think fifth is where we. I think Aston Villa absolutely deserved fifth. I mean fourth. I think they went out there and took it. It was kind of hanging in the balance between the both of us. We both had a terrible run in. I think we both had to play Liverpool and Arsenal and City, and they managed to
Chelsea.
take 4 points out of those 9 games, and well, 5 points out of 12. So 5 points out of 12, including Chelsea. And from those same games, we took a massive zero. So, I mean, that's where you lose top four. You go 0 for 12 in your tough games. They go 5 for 12. Credit to them. Um, what else can I say, man?
Yeah, it was an interesting end to the season, but you
Are we
guys.
gonna get into the greatest title race of all time?
Yeah,
The
well,
three-horse
calm down,
race.
calm down. Now we're done with the two teams. I really didn't want us to spend time talking about. We're not gonna delve into Villa. Nobody wants to hear that. Let's go into Liverpool, and I will open the floor for Adams. No, talk to me, Adams. How do you assess the overall season from Liverpool? Like, from if you're a Liverpool fan, how do you come out of this season? Klopp's last season in charge, being 5 points or virtually 8 points clear early in January, losing so many close games, crashing out of Europa, and inevitably sending the man home with nothing big enough for
He
him to put in
sent
the
he
car.
sent himself home. He sent himself with nothing.
So,
That's
talk to me. How do you assess Liverpool's season?
I get it that Liverpool fans is a very difficult one for them to assess because club for them is like there's an emotional attachment there, right? Like he brought them from the dumps where they were nothing. So it's really difficult for them to accurately assess this season. So they just for them it's just like, well, thank you for what you've done. We really respect you, and that's it. But for us as neutral fans, that was really like that. This was what we are knocking Arsenal for last season, right? So, and I think that they're getting away with it. It was fun fair for them on the last day, last game of the season. I was seeing them bantering Arsenal. I'm like, hold on a minute. Like, you guys bottled the league. You were first you were on top of the table for more times than Arsenal and Man City. So how come you guys don't get to get the share of the banter as well? So for me, I don't think it's a good enough season. They barely won the Carabao Cup against a Chelsea side that probably the worst we've seen. And as well, we also had injuries, and they threw away from going for the quadruple, right? To throwing it away to Manchester United and losing 3-0 to Atalanta at home. I think, yeah, it's definitely not good enough for a team of that size. And from what we've been expecting of them, they can turn around and say, "Oh, we've had injuries and all of that." But that was the same thing Arsenal said last season. Arsenal said, "Oh, we lost Saliba and we had Odin. How do you expect us to win the league?" And that didn't matter to us. I think we should hold them to the same standards that we held Arsenal to, considering that they've done it before. They said, this is what we do. We always challenge Man City. We know how to do it more than you. So once we get up on the table, there's no coming back for us, and we didn't see that for them. I kind of said it. I kind of predicted it. I knew, like, because from the games that I saw, I could tell that this team is just flattering to deceive. Yeah, so I think it was. If I was to grade their season, I'll probably give them a C.
You see, Yeah, and I too was not shocked. If it's not Arsenal, people don't have anything to say. So I wasn't shocked that they've forgotten that bottling is something that can happen in any other city in England. Anyway, on to Mr. Ozo. Give us your own views and thoughts on Liverpool's season. Where do you think they go from here? Do you think the expectations should still be the same with the new manager, or should they be looking into a rebuild?
I think they are already rebuilding. If we're being fair, so if not to like have it just be all hate. This would be my contextual analysis of Liverpool's season. I don't think that they were ready to challenge. I think Klopp obviously messed up and he never rebuilt his original team, and that team ran into its last legs and died. And last season was them dying. They finished, what was it, fifth. They tried to push for top four in the end. They tried to muster up whatever they had. We could just tell that team was done. They were out of legs. People were saying Van Dijk, is he finished? Salah, is he going to Saudi? Like there was everything was. It seemed like this summer was Liverpool were done. Do you know how many people had United ahead of Liverpool in their preseason predictions? So we can all admit that team was dead. They went into the market. They got guys like McAllister. They got guys like Endo. And they tried to kind of retool the midfield. They let go of Henderson. And it felt like he was trying to rebuild on the fly. I didn't peg them to be close to the title. I thought they would get top four, but I didn't think they would be close to the title. So, if we're being fair, I think fair play on them for even getting themselves in that position. But I thought it was the wrong move for Klopp announcing his departure in the middle of the season, because I think as much as that incentivizes your players, it also adds fuel to the fire to your detractors and the people that are trying to take away from your legacy. And I think it made every game too important for each opposition, because everyone knows like, oh, this is our last time playing Klopp. And so if you have a score to settle, if you have, any kind of like emphasis that you want to make on this Liverpool side, people felt like that was their chance to take a punch. And I think you saw that towards the end of the season. They were taking everybody's best punch, and because they're not the same team, they were unable to reply back. So if I'm being fair, I don't think they were quite challengers. They never really felt like challengers. It was very like luck and last minute and just euphoria that was carrying them. Like they didn't feel like they had the same level of control and consistency that Arsenal and City had. And I'll be real, I thought they could sustain it at least until the very end. And we can see that at the end, the wheels came off completely. And that's the part where I'll say, like, it's fair to say they absolutely bottled the league, because they had it in their hands to win it. You win your games, you're the champions. But I feel like it would be fair for me to also say I just don't think they were built for this, like this current iteration of Liverpool. And so, like, where do I see them going from here? Of course, it's a rebuild. I think they've got a young manager that's going to try to prove himself in the big leagues. I think they obviously have a squad that is being slowly remade on the fly. They've brought Michael Edwards back, so you already know that their transfer strategy is going to be drastically different. A lot of probably the older guys are going to be moving on. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Salah even moves on. I won't be surprised if someone like, I mean, you already see Matip is heading out. So I think, yeah, they're going to try to retool the squad. And I wouldn't expect much from Liverpool next season. But you just never know. It depends on how good of a manager they've got in Arne Slot. And that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I think they should be in the mix next season. Another board manager, what could go wrong? But
Bald and Dutch.
yeah, another board Dutch manager. So
Perfect combo for for what'd you say, Pandora's box?
I'm very much interested in their transfers. They always know how to find industrial
I think they'll
players.
go after the likes of like Xavi Simons. I can like he sounds like a Liverpool player.
But I mean, it's now it's a
Those kind.
different manager. Probably won't play that in Hela football that Klopp was playing.
Oh, he does.
Oh, he does.
He's probably even more attacking than Klopp.
Same style. Well,
He's He's
All
the
is going to be
Dutch.
build.
He's the Dutch Ange. I think he plays with 2 10s. So
Oh,
it's going to be interesting. I don't know. I think their style would look different though, because I think he has a lot more, more finesse. I feel like Klopp was more heavy metal, and I think
I mean,
Slot is a bit
long
more
as
finesse. But we'll see.
he gets the job done. But yeah,
But
not
what is the job? That's the thing. What is the job? What?
Liverpool fans want to compete. They want to be in the title race.
But
They want to win
how
trophies.
patient? I mean, to be fair, they are a patient fan base. Like, if we're being real, it's not like they've always won. As a matter of fact, Klopp was kind of like the thing that changed their reality in recent memory. Like, I don't think that they're gonna be on him from the
Yeah,
first
but
day.
I mean,
Like,
but I'm
oh,
sure
you must win.
first season they don't want to stray too far down the table.
You
So they
better
want to
not.
be
You better not.
yeah they want to
I
be
won't be.
among
I won't be surprised. I won't be
among the and I
surprised.
think that they have the players to stay up there. Anyway,
Depends on who stays though.
let's not worry too much about the team that nobody really cares about. Now for the main getting to the main events of this episode and the reason why everyone is tuned in. Let's talk about Arsenal, and I would give give the floor to
No, no,
our
you start. You start. We want to hear from you.
our resident Arsenal fan, which is me myself, and I guess the same question I asked you guys. The overall assessment of the season, and just like you said, Uzo, the way I felt yesterday and today is completely different. I feel yesterday, there was hope, and today there's still hope because I've had time to really think about our season, and I like where we are. Just personally, as a team, as a club, I remember where we were 5 years ago. I was just like Adams. I was looking on LinkedIn for new manager, cussing out players that weren't good, and now like we can go into the last game of the season with a chance to win the league. And what's even funnier about this season is we didn't really start this season well. Too much experimenting for like the first 5 months. We didn't know who our striker was until February. And for some weird reason we were in a title race till March week 38. Even if we did win, even if we end up winning the league by some miracle, it will still be the same approach coming into the new season. Is we have so many problems we have to fix. Our left back situation, our striker situation, our midfield situation. So it does make me a little bit more hopeful. The season was not, that big a success in terms of trophies, but the manager is building something. The fans, for the most part, are pretty much all united, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go again. Pep, I got one more in me.
I
Let's
like
go again.
In case you're a new viewer or a new listener, I assure you, this is Chooks. I know you've never seen him this sober-minded and this reasonable ever,
Let's
but this
let's
is
go again.
this is what reality does to a man.
No, no. This
You can hear the
this
level
is
of
my pilot
wisdom.
impersonation. This is my pilot impersonation. Calm down.
Chooks, if you turn around, I won't be surprised if I see gray hairs. Look at all the wisdom and methodology that just came out of this man's mouth. Shocking
They-
stuff, man. You didn't
Now,
even start with a song.
nah, there's no.
Samina
What
mina.
what I will say though is Adams, you have to hold that. You and all your
me,
Chelsea cohorts, you guys have to hold that.
There
bro.
he
You should.
is.
You guys have to hold that.
There he is.
Adams, you have to hold that. All your Chelsea cohorts have to hold that because for some reason, Kai Havertz gave more to this team than our Lord and Savior.
Bro, you know you can't be doing this, man.
Jesus.
You you can't do this, man. You have to do this with a trophy on your table, man. Bro. So
which
I don't understand what you're doing.
which one is trophy? You that you sit down there and you become the likes of Badia Shield with no trophy. You gotta stand somewhere. You guys have to hold that. Anyway, let me move the mic over to Mr. Ozo. Give us your own assessment of your North London neighbors. Obviously, I can, I'm sure the Lily Whites were happy how the last day unfolded. But give us more insight into what's going on there.
I mean, I take after my manager, says just, we focus on ourselves, we tend to our own garden. I honestly, this whole season, I was not really invested in the title race like that because, we weren't involved in it. I wasn't looking out for the fixtures. I wasn't really sure what was happening. I was excited to see that, we had a shot at Champions League, and I was very devastated that we lost a very competitive game to the eventual champions, Man City. They usually don't win at our stadium. We gave them all we had, and I can't believe Son missed that chance. It still hurts. Um,
Oh boy.
but as much as we didn't get Champions League, I'm excited going into the next season because what I was told is if you're not first, you lost. So it's kind of sad that us and our neighbors, who we love so much, ended up in the same situation with, absolutely nothing to show for a grueling 38 game season. But, when I look back on the season, I can only hope that we both progress and, bring some type of joy back to the city of London.
North
And
London.
if, well, I mean, any other part of London ain't doing nothing these days anyway. So,
West Ham got they got Europe. They got a trophy from
and
Europe.
their
No, I'm
manager
just
is
saying.
on LinkedIn. He's on LinkedIn looking with chooks for airline jobs. but but to be fair though, like context wise, I think honestly, I predicted, and this is just off cam to Chooks, like I predicted everything as it would go. Like and he knows. I told him I thought I didn't think City would play around this time, and I don't think they played. Even that one goal by Kudus, that was just an amazing goal.
Hey, but wait, can we just Kudus? Hey, I stood up and climbed the table for you, sir.
That was an insane goal, by
Then
the way.
It was.
Mohamed Kudus.
That was a goal that was just like, hey Pep, in case you need. I'm not saying you need, but in case you need, I dare you.
Kudus, that goal,
That was
sir.
a crazy goal. That
Go
was a
on.
crazy goal.
Yeah.
That was a crazy goal. But I didn't think City would play around on the final day, and I wasn't surprised that they came out because I think they've done that so much where it's like it's boring. It's an old script. I felt like at home, West Ham probably hate Arsenal just as much as we do, so they weren't going to try. I just knew they would come out and get the job done. And I was telling Chooks, like I didn't think it would be received with the same level of like kind of despair that they had last season. And I think you can just look at the reaction online from Arsenal fans to tell you that is different. There haven't been any rants. There's no shouting. Nobody's going viral. They're all just sober minded and level. And I think the way that you lose matters. And this is why, and honestly, this is one thing that I'm super qualified to speak on as a Spurs fan because we are the ones that put the pressure on and whatever, and we're losers and this and that. It's the history of the Tottenham, all that things. I think there's a way to lose, and I think there's a way to lose with grace. And it's been the subject of a lot of conversation. We don't want to reward losers. We don't want to pat people on the back, and there's no participation trophies. I get all that. But the bare minimum that you expect from your team, right, is to fight until the end. And that's why sometimes when we all come here, we react differently to different losses. Like if you lose 2-1, fighting to the death, wonder goal, referee decision, you come in, you're pissed off, but you're not despondent about your team. But if you lose 5-0, guys are walking on the pitch, guys are not sweating. I'm sorry. I just picked a random number actually. But you lose 5-0, you get pretty much just absolutely slapped off the pitch. Guys are walking around, not running, not fighting for the fans. They don't clap the fans at the end. That's where it's disgusting, right? So I think one thing that Arsenal showed this season, and this was something that I actually sat here and I predicted when Tunde was on the show. I told him, I was like, I do see a different mentality with Arsenal because I think there were several points this season where they should have lost and they should have taken themselves out of the race. And I think they kept themselves in it until the very end. Obviously, we are in the era of one of the greatest teams that the Premier League has ever seen. And this is just facts. This is historical. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. You can say nostalgia. You can say whatever you want. The record books will show this is one of, if not the most dominant team in Premier League ever. So, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm so happy to be giving this speech because I didn't want Arsenal to win the league. And I'm very happy to give them credit as long as they don't win. But I was telling Chooks, if they win it next season, I won't be hurt. I won't be surprised. It won't take me by shock. It wouldn't make me feel jealousy as a rival. I wouldn't be happy for him, obviously, because they're rivals. But I feel like what they've shown this season is that they absolutely are in that conversation, and they will be in that conversation for years to come. And that is only a matter of time before they either get over the line or they restart the project. But it's obvious that they're going to be in and around the discussion for the biggest titles in football going into the future. And I think that's something that you can say credit to Arsenal. It's easy for me to say that now because they didn't win. I'm just saying that it would be very hard for me to say this if they did. But because they didn't win, I think we can all look back, context field, and we can say, yeah, they were probably, over the second half of the season, they were the best team in the league. Unfortunately, City just had more games. And I think if they had the same amount of games, they probably end up winning the league. But because City had less games, because they had more games because they had games in hand from the previous half of the season. I think that gave them an advantage because they could always see, okay, what has Arsenal done? This is what we need to do. What have Arsenal done?
One extra game.
They had two because remember they went off for Club World Cup.
Yeah, no, I mean,
And
like
you guys,
in 2024, they played one extra game.
one extra game, okay.
Because we got 49 out of 54.
But it's because they started making up their games start of January.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you and Liverpool had a 2-game
like
lead
that.
on them after the Club World Cup. Because I remember, like, right after they got to, like, within 2 points of you guys, they went away from the Club World Cup. That was around the time you and Liverpool dropped points to each other. And then subsequently, you were on the middle of that terrible run. Liverpool were also dropping points. But the main thing is they came back and they could kind of just sit back. And this is where City love to be. They love being there, where they have games in hand and they get to just see, okay, what did you do? All right, we just have to do this. Cool, we got it. So yeah, shout out to Man City, shout out to Pep, the greatest manager of all time, bar none. I'm not trying to hear nothing. And I think they took it over the line because that's what they do. But absolute credit to Arsenal. They were brave. They fought till the end. They didn't go out like chumps, and that's because of guys like Kai Havertz, who's someone that I've been very critical of. I still don't rate the guy's ability. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't change my mind that easily. And I don't think he's done enough to change my mind about his ability. But I think what he showed from a mental perspective, his mental fortitude, his emotional contributions in games where they needed a goal or they needed a boost or they needed somebody to be a bastard and just go and kick somebody. He did all of those things. And I love players like that. And if he played for my team, I would be defending him with my life. So I have to give him his credit. I thought Arsenal showed a lot of balls this season. Guys like Gabriel, Saliba. I think Saliba showed like he's the best young center back in the world, right? All those Araujo shouts, all that. Barca fans might now bring this Kubarsi guy, but stop. I think he showed that he's. I think he showed he's the best young center back in the league. He just looks so mature. Ben White, another massive performance. Like I think he's showing. Forget about being right back converted from center back. He's showing he's a good right back. Like he's one of the best in the league as well. So Odegaard, of course, walks out of this season looking like an absolute all-timer of a captain in the Emirates. He needs trophies, of course, but he's looking like one of the all-time, great captains in the Emirates era. So, credit to the whole team. I think some guys, uncomfortable conversations, guys like Jesus, Martinelli, some of these guys are going to have stuff to answer for. Zinchenko, guys like that. So, yeah, I think credit to Arsenal. There's no banter from me, unless your name is Isaac. You know who you are. You can hold all the banter. But besides that, I thought they had a brilliant season and makes next season very, very interesting.
How about you, Adams? Give us your download on just the whole Arsenal season as a whole. What you liked, what you didn't like, and your assessment of the title race.
Oh yeah, I think Uzo pretty much hit the nail on the head. I liked when he said, "Now I can give them credit, right? Because they didn't win." So that's how I feel too. Like, yeah, it was a hard fought battle. You guys did what you could. I can't point out many things at the Arsenal team and say, "Oh, this should have been better. Obviously, like if we want to be super nitpicking, if we want to use the magnifying glasses, we can go and say, okay, this should be better. But overall, man, you guys are completely competitive team. I wouldn't change a lot from you guys. Obviously, you need to improve. You talk about the goal scoring in terms of like the striker. I'm not even sure you guys even need that, but yeah, maybe. And you probably talk about the left back situation as well. Maybe the midfield, if Partey isn't going to be fit. But yeah, like there's not too much I'll change from that team. Like you guys. And one thing that I really liked, a lot of people have been pointing at this. I know Uzo as well. But I like the way you guys can play differently, right? And being a Chelsea fan, I've seen my team be resolute, almost like defend, and when I mean defend, the other team is not even getting a sniff. Like it's not even looking close. The other team is not looking close to scoring, except maybe you can point at probably the Manchester United game and maybe even some moments of that Chelsea game where I felt like if we had a better goal scorer, maybe they could have scored. But overall, man, you guys, the way you guys have defended all season has been amazing. Like that is a title winning defensive efforts. Like from what I saw this season, like that is what like the great title winning teams do defensively. At least Chelsea title winning defensive teams have done. The way you guys have been able to defend. So that's something that I never thought in a million years Arsenal would play like that. I never thought Arsenal would have that physicality to them. That robust
That's
defensive.
steel.
Yeah, I never thought I was gonna see that. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I know Uzo said like he knew, but that kind of frightened me. That scared me. Especially, I'm happy not to say, but especially in Champions League. Because most of the Champions League runs that we've been on, we always needed to have that solid defensive foundation. And I saw that, I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I don't want to see this from us now. And I mean, thank God Bayern Munich did their thing and it didn't get to happen. But yeah, I'm going into next season. That's something I also be looking at. That defensive structure is frightening. Like he said, Saliba and Gabriel. Gabriel is somebody that doesn't get enough shouts. I think he deserves a lot of praise. Like he's been immersed. He's been wonderful. That's what you want from a partnership. Like they just need to win a title to put their name. I'm not going to say it, not yet, but they need to win a title before you
Yeah,
can.
you must win to get into
Yeah.
those conversations. But I'll say this for everybody that hasn't won, they're in those conversations with them. So
Right.
as a Spurs fan, this is going to sound like sacrilege, but yeah, I'd put them with the likes of Vertonghen and Alderweireld. Like they're up there with any of the great pairings that didn't win. I'll say that.
Nasty conversation. What if I would say one thing that does pain me is statistically this is the best Arsenal season in the history of football.
Probably in defense, attack, wins, everything.
In every statistical,
it's insane.
And one thing I didn't like.
One thing.
Wow.
In all competitions.
Wow.
This is the highest point tally.
Have you guys ever
done?
Have you guys ever
with the Invincibles?
Have you guys ever run through London the way you've run through London in the last 2 years?
Run through? Bro,
no, like in terms of like beating teams home and away. Last season, I think they beat everybody home and away.
No, they didn't beat us at home.
Last season
they beat you home and away.
Last season they did. Yeah.
So they beat you 3 of the last 4. They've beat us 3 of the last 4. These are insane things.
Yeah.
Like
and that's why
even under like Wenger, like in his prime, they weren't doing stuff like this.
Nah, never in a million years. They didn't do that. And that's why, like,
bro, 3 out of 4 to Spurs and Chelsea within that's insanity.
That's insane.
And it's not like you lost the 4th; they drew the.
It's
at least we drew.
Hey yo, we drew too. We drew one this season.
But
we both drew the first one. But look at what we're talking about. At least we drew.
Even the bad Arsenal teams have been beating us in recent history. So.
Yeah. I just think this is a very dominant stretch.
Oh yeah,
and it will be for naught if you don't win anything. I will say that, but
I would like to add though. I know winning is nice. Like for me though, I see from a different perspective. For instance, are you telling me that your perspective would have changed if West Ham had drew that game? Your perspective would have changed. Of a different form, bro.
That's the beauty of sports. Yes,
it's whoever takes.
So I heard something today, right? So Adams, I heard something today, right? You know the Nuggets lost to the Timberwolves last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Edwards shot 6 for 24. Awful. He had 16 points. If they lose that game, the discourse on him is completely different from the fact that they won the game. They won the game, so the discourse is he trusted his teammates, he competed defensively, he rebounded the ball, he did other things. That's the focus. If they lose the game, then the focus is different. Oh, he was scared of the moment. He was tentative. He was bad. The moment got to him. He wasn't ready. He was too young. That's the beauty of sports. Results ultimately validate all of the effort. And I mean, that's what I've been told. So it's like, let's not change the rules now.
That's honestly
Let's not change the rules.
truth. The way the fans of the team feel versus the general discourse is going to be different.
It's always going to be different. Always.
Did you win?
Yeah, of course.
You can still be objective about performance.
Yeah, of course.
All this
because some of those Poch teams, we had a Poch, and I hate doing this because I know Chooks probably hates that I keep throwing Spurs back in, but Poch's Spurs win an entire season not losing at home. Like stuff like that is like, you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah, part of me being moderator was to keep names like Poch and Spurs.
Oh Lord!
When we start talking about the title,
all I'm saying is people don't remember or care.
Yeah,
so,
people. That's the thing. Like people will remember, right? Let's say when it happened, Poch had my respect. I'm like, okay, this is a top manager, but he couldn't win. But right now for Arteta, I want to say
he's a top
like,
manager.
Yeah,
he's 100% a top manager. That's not in doubt.
His mentality, all he needs are a few more players like him on the pitch. Like I feel like Kai Havertz is just like him on the pitch. Declan Rice, Odegaard. I feel like he just
Jorginho.
He just needs a little bit. Imagine you can get a Jorginho that's a little bit younger and more agile. Someone like Bruno Guimaraes too. Like players like that on the team with his mindset to go and kill. That's the kind of coach he is.
What you really need is a striker with that mindset. And
Yeah,
I don't think that Kai is a striker. I don't think ultimately he's a striker.
I mean, as long as he's part of the team and he can contribute, keep him.
And
But,
that's the thing about Arteta, though. I rate him so much because he's so ruthless. Next season, bro, he might bin Kai Havertz or something, bro. You never know. He might
bin Martinelli. That's who needs to get binned.
Yeah, those I wouldn't slander any of my youth online here, but
that wasn't the case, though. That wasn't the case.
Some of them really let me down in 2024. But now to pivot onto a team that I will not be congratulating or have anything savory to say about, Man City. At what point do rivals? Because Adams kind of alluded to yesterday in our personal chat is the reason why everybody loved Man City was they were the team that would make your rivals not win anything. But now,
yeah,
is everyone getting to the point where it's
bro,
like, okay,
I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it.
This is actually getting crazy.
Yeah,
and to be honest, I'm not saying this because my team is involved right now. I mean this wholeheartedly. I will support anybody under the sun except United to beat Man City to a league title. Even Tottenham. Anybody except United to beat them, I'm going to support them. Because at this point, it is ridiculous. Some of the things that they've gotten away with is and I don't know if it's luck or if you say, oh, they've done it so many times that things just fall their way. I don't get it, but this is 4 in a row. Already, off the press, Paqueta has agreed personal terms today. So for sure, he's going to be. So now you're adding Paqueta to that stew. And he's still going to add 2-3 more players.
But this is what I've said, though. I told you, like, this is not a good City team. The last 2 seasons have not been a good City. He's rebuilding on the fly. That's why it's scary. That's why it's scary.
No, they can't do 5, man. Like, obviously, I don't want Arsenal. I don't want to see Arsenal win a trophy.
Who's going to stop them?
But
nobody. Nobody.
Next season is about to be the worst.
That's why the whole United thing to me is just so disgusting. Like, bro, come on, like you guys.
Adams, you know when they'll realize it? Because it hit me slowly today when I Googled the last few winners of Prem and I just saw 1, 2, 3, 4. It kind of I won't lie, it kind of messed me up a little bit. I was like,
well, they've won the last 4.
I was like, that's kind of hard to see.
It's getting uncomfortable, man.
And then today, Pep Pep is now kind of alluding to the fact that he has his eyes on Fergie. Because everyone is thinking, oh, he's doing rivalry with Klopp, Ateta, who else? No.
Another thing that goes for them is like nobody really hates them. Like all the rival fans, we don't really hate them. Like I think that counts for something, man. Like
Yeah,
Honestly, not really. I think to me,
to be honest, I honestly think that's also the case. And I'll give one of our friends, Riam, his props because he called this out like 2019, 2018 that a lot of teams just go there and lay down for Man City. A lot of fan bases do it too. Like they, it's like with the whole Tottenham thing. Now I'm not saying that like the fans really had an effect on the game.
they did.
It's kind of
They did.
embarrassing when like in
The fans
stadium,
definitely had an effect on the game.
stadium, your own fans are cheering for another team.
Yeah,
Like,
but
it
no,
don't-
the fans definitely had an effect, though. We
I don't think that
definitely
ever
did.
happened for any team in this league. Even when United were going on that run, I don't think teams just obviously they were good enough to flog you, but I don't think like the fans were like, oh hey, well we just want to lose to these guys so they'll win the league. Like Western fans were cheering. I saw a clip when
Yeah.
the City fans ran onto the pitch.
yeah, I saw it
They
too.
were cheering. They were cheering the City fans.
I
They
saw
were
it
cheering
too.
the City players and their fans while they were lifting the trophy. That's so morbid. It doesn't happen. And
Well, but it's not because they like City though. It's because they hate other
not because like
teams.
it, but I'm saying like what Adams was saying is it does create the perfect environment if you are Guardiola. What incentive do you have to leave when you can sit here and you can start part and catch Ferguson? And then really,
I mean,
if he does have an ego thing where he's internally, because there are actually people like that. Like in his mind, he wants to make this compensation a thing where
but
nobody.
I called this years ago though. I said I don't think it's about Liverpool. I don't think it's about Arsenal. I don't think it's about any single one of the teams in this era. I think he's been fixated on Fergie since he got here.
Well, he
One
has
of the first things he said in his pressers
he has 7
was
more to go.
he's
There's
I'm not saying
There's
he
no
can
way he's
do
getting
it,
close to that.
but
Bro.
Pep isn't old. I need people to know that. He's not old at all.
Remember
He's a young pup.
remember that City cycle. Adams has started phase 1.
Yeah, he started phase 1.
They are
But
not good.
also
No,
let
no,
me
no.
say this though. But also let me say
Nah,
this.
bro,
though.
I just want to
I
remind
don't
Manchester United fans, bro. This guy got one Champions League from you as well. Do you remember?
No, he got he got one. Barca got 2. Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
no, I think he got 2.
And I think he got one from them.
No,
Did he
yeah,
get
he got 2. No,
He got 2.
and 20,
He got 2.
Yeah, he collected 2 from them
Shameless.
and then went to
man. This
Bayern
fan base, man.
and
Shameless.
has come to their own city, bro. And that's honestly what makes me so disgusted with them. Like a lot of their fans will be tagging Arsenal fans and are happy. And not only are you 8 negative 1 goal difference, your stadium is sinking, and in your own city of Greater Manchester, you haven't slipped anything real since Goodluck Jonathan was president. And they're about to go play an FA Cup. And mind you, ask any United fan if they think they're going to win the FA Cup, and they will open their big mouth.
I've never asked you for anything, I beg. I know we're talking about hate here, but please.
See, this is exactly it though. Everybody has something to gain from Man City winning. We all have something to gain. But to be honest,
it's FA Cup, but no one cares. If United win it, that's fine.
no. Adams is talking about Europa. If United win it, then Chelsea are out of Europa. Chelsea are back to Conference League.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you have.
No, he has a real reason. He has a vested interest.
Yep, I do.
That's why he wanted us to lose to Sheffield so he would be insured. By the way, Adams, how did the Sheffield game go?
No, I knew that was not gonna happen, man. I knew that.
Those guys stink, man. Just 5 seconds. That's one of the worst teams. 3 wins all season.
Bro, they drew. That's one of the things I said.
We're not giving Chef any airtime.
Okay.
Back to Guardiola, please, before we start talking about.
But my thing on Pep is, I think the hate angle is funny because it's like we're doing everything but acknowledging that this guy is just different.
Oh no,
he's different.
Show you he's different. But at the same
I'll even go as far as saying this, Chooks. I think if more people hated him, he would dominate this league worse.
No,
I think it's actually good that we haven't pissed him off.
Man. I don't think
he
didn't do this to Madrid, bro. He did do this to Madrid.
I mean, he lost out on one league title and he left. I get it. Also, Madrid are not like the other big clubs in England where they have a limit to where they can push you to. Madrid will literally go to that same spiritual warfare that you're going to The Baba that you're going to bribe, they will bribe him too. The refs you're going to buy, they'll buy them too. The spiritual father you're going to consult, they'll consult him too. So Madrid was more of a different. Madrid is the biggest club in the world. So the fact that he was even able to bully them for that long is, to me, is insane. Winning 6 titles on their head, he swept everything in Europe, everything in domestically on their watch. So if anybody has been bitched worse than any of us, Real Madrid definitely are the ones that have collected. But my thing is, the way he responds to hate, for me, hate that he manufactures in his head, that's not even real. Like, you've seen some of his presses where he's saying, yeah, they don't, it's easy. It's easy. They don't believe in anything that we do. No one gives us any credit. It's okay. It's easy. The players go, they win. It's okay. Good. This is stuff that he's concocting in his own head. And the way he responds to it is by winning more. Now imagine if there was real hatred. And I don't think City have really spent money in the last 3-4 windows like they could have. I think they've been chilling. Imagine if there was an incentive to keep
115 charges though.
No. Those are fair. Those are fair.
Forget the charges. The foundation is already strong enough. He doesn't need to spend.
Exactly.
My thing is,
but he can spend more. That's what I'm saying. He can spend more.
Yeah, like
do you think Real Madrid need to buy Mbappe? Do you think they need to get Endrick and all these guys? They do it because they want to make sure that you have no chance.
I mean, yeah, isn't that what they did with Haaland? It's what they'll do. They will go out. But
City haven't had a right back, a left back, but they've just been chilling.
Yeah, my point with the hate is not for guys to go out and say they hate the man. It's certain teams in the league like Brentford, right? Brentford is a team, no matter who they play, they will give you the same thing. That's all I always want from other people. I wanted it from Arsenal too for a long time. Like, if you go play City, don't give up in the first minute. Don't go there and die. If you lose, that's fine. But you see guys like Brentford, Palace, when they go, even Tottenham.
Palace are their bogey team, though. Palace are their bogey team.
Palace is just 6 months ago, man. Palace has never been that team.
I'm saying Palace.
But Palace are their bogey team. They take points from them every season.
So many results against City.
Yeah.
Because they just have players that are going to go there. Even Chelsea this season. One thing I'll give Chelsea for, I think it was the second game. I've forgotten what the first one was for, but second game. Those transitions where some other teams, I saw it again. I saw it with West Ham. They have the ball to move forward. And you know what they do? They pass it right back, allow City to go back and settle. Teams like Brentford, immediately somebody gets on a bike and they're sending it long. They are making the game open. But not a lot of teams do that against it. They just sit back and allow them to soak up pressure until they score 1, 2, 3. The game is over. If more teams had that mindset of, okay, these guys are better than us, but we're going to play with some pride. Maybe not saying that like it will prevent it from not winning the league, because they've already gotten into this flow. It's like when the Warriors were at their peak. The players will tell you, just like even when you play normally, like normal football, where you've won so many times that even if you are down 9-0, you're still going to win.
There's a weird confidence, yeah. Like, the best example is that when you're playing FIFA with like your younger brother, right?
Yeah, you just
no matter how much he improves, no matter how much he improves, because you start off playing him with like maybe just one hand. Then you see, oh, he's getting good. Okay, you do 2 hands. Then he's getting good. You stand, you sit up. No matter how much he improves, like levels, all you have to do is just add just a little bit more, and you'll beat him every time.
Facts.
Because mentally, he's already defeated, and you just have more skill than him, anyways. So I don't know. The fact that this guy has, in 15 seasons, only lost out on the league 3 times, and those 3 times, second, fourth.
Gotta shout out Chelsea on that one.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, give him the props now. Do it now, Adam.
It was his first season. It was his first season.
Yeah.
We Claudio Bravo and no Kyle Walker. Get out of here, man.
Roland is saying 3rd place. People should come and beat Pep. Let him go. Let other people see joy in this league. No, the guy.
But genuinely, I think he's going to win until he's tired. That's just the truth. The only thing
that gives me some kind of hope as an Arsenal fan is our manager just looks like the kind of person that has similar hate in his heart to try and prove a point against this man. And that's the only thing that makes me a little bit hopeful that, okay, next season, if I support any other team, I won't be hopeful at all. But Arteta just seems like the kind of person that he was smiling at the end of the season presser. He looks like a person that already has all the speeches ready for next season. He's gonna play that Rodri video for everybody, and maybe that gingers them to go and win all your games because that's what
He's
City
going to
do.
bring that, that decoration, that Arsenal
Bro,
champion.
carry it there, man. Carry that thing there and show and let it paint the players like you paint the fans. Like this is how close you guys were to beating these scums.
To echo what you said, right? As a fan of someone that's not Arsenal, right? I think I can speak for me. I can speak for Adams probably. There's a 0% chance we win the league next season. I know that going in, not just because of where our squads are. Like normally you can dream, you can hope, but I look at City and I look
Yeah.
at, more importantly, I look at what Arsenal have done. I look at what Liverpool have done, and I say
The
we
levels.
ain't even halfway there to do half of what it takes to even
Adams.
get us that close, much
Into
less
this
win it.
team.
So I know that. But also, I look at your squad, and I don't know if all of your players are ready for what it truly takes.
This year, even the fringe ones got carried along. So that's another thing I really for this. If you replace some of those fringe ones, 2024 we went 16-1-1. Sorry, 17-1-1. Like 17 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. And
there was a lot of good fortune there, though. You have to admit.
but like City too, same the Forest game. If someone scores that 1v1, who knows? But nobody's going to. I'm not going to see that.
I mean, you say who knows, but Villa were up 2-0 in the 75th minute. Son scores that 1v1, 88th minute. I won't be surprised if they magically add 15 minutes on at the end.
It was 15 minutes, though. You remember, I think it was like 10 or 15 minutes that they added.
Yeah. No, they added 10. They added 10.
Yeah, 10, yeah.
So they add 10, they pepper our goal, and you already know. Handball, ghost handball, penalty.
Don't
We've
forget,
seen this story
Vicario
before.
made some really top saves, too.
He did.
So
He did. He kept us in it. Ultimately, we'll see. I think next season, this is just kind of like, I think City are going to walk the league next season. My theory is that he leaves after next season. Because I think
so. If he has Fergie in mind,
I think there's been a lot of like very concrete rumors that he's going to leave after next season.
yeah.
but
If he doesn't leave, it's over.
if he doesn't announce it and make it a big deal, he's staying.
Yeah, you're right. If
He
it's
doesn't
not
announce
announced,
early because I know
every job he's been in, you always know he's about to leave.
One thing with guys like Pep is they want that attention. You see what
Of
Klopp
course.
got? I know
Of course.
he's paying him too because
Of course.
Adam, have you seen any picture of them lifting that trophy on Twitter?
I actually don't even know what it looks like.
Bro, I'm telling you.
I've seen more pictures of their players drunk leaving a club.
Yeah. I
than
just
have
saw that
seen
right
them
now.
lifting the trophy.
I've seen more pictures of Caicedo's dyed hair on Twitter than I've seen of I don't even know who even lifted the trophy for City. Anyway,
Caicedo.
to kind of close that.
You see that go, by the way, bro? Need to shout out my boy, man.
Which
Goal
one?
of the season.
Anyway,
bro.
as we're saying, the discussion. We have the whole summer to talk about goals that we saw we didn't see, to give predictions. Probably later on transfer window, we're going to dive into that. To kind of, and I feel like we're still going to review this season extensively the next coming weeks.
Yeah, player of the season and all that stuff.
Yeah. So to kind of end this episode, we'll start with Adams and Uzo, and I'll go last. Just your team's player of the season, best signing, and someone that disappointed you this season.
Oh man, player of the season is obvious. Definitely Cole Palmer, man. Incredible season, bro. And my fear is he set the bar so high for himself, and obviously, like as a good player, you just have to continue. You have to continue the same level, right? So hopefully he gets to stay fit. We have that continuity, and that's why that's so important. Like we need to keep Poch. Signing of the season is obviously him as
Adams,
well.
do you think he likes Chelsea?
Poch?
No, Cole Palmer.
Of course.
Do you think there's no threat of him leaving? I'm just saying this because I've never seen him point to the badge. I've never really seen him talk about you guys. The way you guys talk about him, He's never really repaid that to you guys. I'm just saying. This is just me as an outsider. Like the way Enzo grabs the badge, I've never seen Cole do that ever.
Nah, he's not really about that though.
Okay.
Like he's not
just
really
saying,
about that. Like
just throwing that out there.
He's just a chill guy, man. That's not his personality.
Don't let him so doubt your mind.
Nah,
Go on,
nah.
carry on.
No,
For
because you know what team he supported when it was coming up, right?
United?
No, I thought they said he was a
Nah, I don't say Spurs. Definitely not Spurs.
No, not Spurs, not Spurs.
No, I think he said he had some family members that supported United.
Yeah, that's the team.
I mean, yeah,
I don't think he would go there, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know if he has. I've seen a lot of top players, really like grab the badge or connect with the fans. I've never seen that from him.
That he's living to,
Never seen that from
if
him.
he's going to like Madrid or them teams, like we're not selling him to any.
I just don't think I'm just curious if like do you foresee him being a mercenary, because it's easy to think like, oh, he's always going to want to keep performing, but it's like if you're not near the upper reaches of the table, what incentive is there for him to stay?
Yeah, that's definitely another.
If he's not a fan of the team, if he's not, you know what I mean? Like that's all. I'm not even trying to do agenda. Like that's just facts. I've never seen.
I think we're too early to start think about that right now. Let's.
Okay.
I think we're too early.
Because like I said, I know he's staying. He was only about taking care of his 10 siblings. The guy, he ain't going nowhere. Enzo, for some weird reason, he loves the club. I don't know. Kisses the badge all the time. Guys like that, it's obvious.
I don't know why it's hard for people to understand that. People love to play for Chelsea, bro.
No, Enzo is just random. Like, bro, what does a man from River Plate know about Chelsea?
No, but to be honest, a lot of these guys, South Americans, they will kiss that badge and leave your club.
That's true.
Like that one is just.
Bruno Guimaraes, they did a banner for the guy. The guy don't hug fans. Yeah. But you already know he's out. He's out. Yeah, even Christian Romero, he's starting to become very suspicious because he's been overly in love with the club. And I'm like,
the only thing I would say
that
about
Barcelona
Palmer
move.
just coming from City, like just being around those serial winners.
That level, that standard, yeah.
Yeah, there's only so much love he can have if a chance presents itself. But let's stay on.
I was just curious because I've never seen him do, and most of the other guys have. I've just never seen it from him.
Nah, man.
But let me free agenda, I guess.
This guy, man.
Adams, but I have a point because you're trying to think of like he scored 4 goals in a game. I never saw him once grab his badge. Like, bro, come on, give the fans something. Give them, Adams was dying for that. Adams got an erection when Buddy Hope Shield just simply got angry on the pitch. If Cole would have kissed the badge, Adams would have been here.
I don't even
in all blue
like that, man. I don't even care about that. Man.
Right.
I don't even care.
Right.
And,
anyways, keep going. Your signing of the season.
Yeah, that underwhelmed you the most. So I would say flop. I don't want to use the word flop. But your flop of the season.
Flop for my team?
Yes.
Oh man, I don't think I have one, man. To be honest,
wow.
I don't think I have one.
I'll give you one.
Of course, you give me one, but I don't.
I'll give you several.
I don't think I have one.
Looking at where your team was,
Adams, you don't think Raheem Sterling was a flop?
You should have multiple names.
Oh yeah.
As a senior member of the squad, you're supposed to put an arm around these guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, allow Adams to love on his boys. We've had enough Chelsea talk, anyways. Mr. Uzo, please.
Wait, what was the 3 things?
So your player of the season. Who do you think was the best signing for your club this season, and quote unquote flop of the season?
Also, so Cole Palmer was yours for the 2, right, Adams?
Yeah,
Cole was. The last one, the player had high expectations for that. Didn't really live up to it.
Yeah, I think for me, player of the season, Christian Romero by far. Signing of the season, I'm stuck between Vicario, Mickey, and Destiny, but I'll give it to Mickey because I wanted to give Mickey player of the season, honestly. So I'll give him signing of the season.
3 signings that changed the air.
Bro,
for you, the
funny thing is, Destiny doesn't really count for this season, so I'll discount because we signed him last year.
This season, so
but Destiny, I saw him up close. Hopefully the injury doesn't change the way he plays, but
it's just they just wanted to be cautious. That's
cautious. All. Nah, those guys have those are serious boys.
Bro, I think backline wise we're set. We just need to go get more reinforcements, and then the attack is where it stinks.
I feel bad you brought Ben Davis to North London Derby.
Hey, man.
Ben Davis.
I wanted Destiny to get that Saka test again. Honestly, in a weird way, I feel like with Destiny we win that game.
Man. I'm happy they gave my my star boy some kunu to drink.
And the fact that gods of football are so cruel, man. The fact that of course he ended up with a 1v1 with Davis. Like, bro,
Bro,
of all people there's 11 men on the pitch. It could have been any one of them. It had to be the guy that you were when Saka went to sleep with his jersey laid beside him and he heard that Davis was going to be his man. He was just dreaming, God, please, if you love me, give me a 1v1. But it's all good. But yeah, I'll say, you know what? I'll say Vicario because he played every game. I think Mickey, struggled with injuries. So I'll say player of the season, Christian Romero, signing of the season, Big Vic, and the underwhelming player of the season because all the bums, I had no expectations of them anyway, so they didn't underwhelm me. They actually they showed me who they really are, and I wasn't shocked. So my underwhelming performer would be Madison for sure because I think those first few games I was saying some things, God forgive me. And once you make a liar out of me, I can't forgive it. But he made me say some things that I can't take back in certain groups, and now and he disappointed so massively. It wasn't just his play. It was just his attitude, behavior. Very, 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 very poor, very disgusting.
I'll take him off your hands, though.
Please.
I will, man.
Please. Legit.
Adams,
I would sell for half the price and I would go get Morgan Gibbs White in 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah. That's
Adams the kind of guy that will go and sign Rose.
No, Adams doesn't know about Madison. That's why. Boy, he's basically a white version of Raheem Sterling. Nasty attitude. When they're not playing well, nasty attitude, man. Bro, he was trying to get sent off back-to-back games. He was punching people, elbowing. Like, bro, what are you doing? We gave him captainship and Harry Kane's number. Don't get me started. Massive underwhelming performer of the season. James Madison. Got to do so much better next year or we need to replace the guy ASAP. Like, you look at guys like Odegaard, you see their mentality, you see their consistency. Fuck Arsenal, man.
I was about to say.
For me, I was torn between the two players.
This guy's so annoying, by the way. Everyone that's watched this episode, just message on YouTube. Just message. Stop acting weird. What's wrong with this guy, man?
Doing that. But anyway, on to Arsenal. For my own player of the season, I was torn between our highest, player that gave us the most output, Bukayo Saka, and for me, I feel like the most consistent player we had this season. And I have to give it to Saliba. I think Saliba was a player of the season. He played 38 games, and I don't think there was any performance or any game where he didn't.
Ben White?
I mean, yeah, like you can throw in guys like Ben, but Saliba is the first Arsenal player to play 38 games.
And they say he played every minute.
Yeah, played every minute. Played 38 and played every minute of this season. So yeah,
that's insane.
I feel like that's
coming off an injury as well. That's insane.
He made himself available. I remember that Bayern Munich game, the one we lost.
But that's unfair on Gabriel because he was benched. It's not like it was availability for him. He was benched.
That's the thing I don't like about that whole play the whole game.
No, but hold on. Between both of them, we know who is better. Especially that Bayern Munich game. You watched it. I remember what I told you.
But one game don't make the man, though.
I'm saying, like, it's while we're looking at it the personal level, somebody was consistent for 38 straight games.
Fair.
By the way, guys, please, let me have my moments. You guys can talk about your Badia Shields and Ben Davises. Calm down. Anyway, my player of the season, William Saliba. My sign of the season,
Willow.
Of course, the guy that gave us 15 goals and assists in 13 games in the running.
Really?
Over Declan Rice.
Over Rice?
Declan Rice left me with a lot to think about in key games when the position we signed him for, he ended up not playing.
Adams, timestamp. timestamp.
So I would say I have to give it to Kai. With Rice, I feel like Uzo will even agree with me on that.
Oh, I do.
Of course.
That's why I said. That's why I said timestamp.
I had to reflect, and it does leave me with a bitter taste in my mouth knowing that we signed the DM and we still need another DM. So I'll have to give signing of the season to Kai Havertz. What he did in the running, I'm sorry.
How about Raya?
I mean, Raya was good, but 15 goals.
Golden Glove first season. That's kind of mad.
15 goals and assists in the run, especially when every other striker was hiding and pretending to be injured or pretending
Come
to
on,
be
man.
Eddie
Pretending
Nketiah.
to be injured. Those are bold claims.
Yeah, so Jesus
Wait, who was
runs.
pretending to be injured?
No, Jesus gets in the box, has a chance to shoot, is on the floor looking for penalty. So yeah, like he
Gotta
stepped
be
up.
Jesus.
His mentality was too tough. To be honest, I could do a whole episode on just how Kai Havertz transformed what a striker looks like at this club. 'Cause we haven't had one in a while. And the odd part is, I don't even know if he's a striker. But
I don't think he is.
just coming from Lacazette
Chooks, who
and
is he up there with? Who is Havertz up there with in terms of all-time Arsenal strikers?
it's too early. It's just one season. Give him time. But just based off the last 5 years, Adams, based on what you've seen from that position, you nobody can tell me that it's not been a revelation. Especially when Arsenal strikers are notoriously famous for disappearing. Giroud went 4 months without scoring a goal in a title race.
Respect, man. Respect Giroud, please.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he went to your team and got carried to go to trophies. But the guy was the leading man in a title race and did not score a goal in 4 months and was collecting paycheck.
Yeah, that's
Jesus came the
insane.
season with 4 goals. I think
4
Coutinho Romero
goals.
scored more goals than Jesus this season.
I won't be
I
surprised.
think the Sassy has scored more goals than Jesus this season.
Really?
Jesus ended the season with 4 goals.
He was injured, man. He was injured for after
Wait,
season.
he was tied with Ben White, right?
Yeah, he was like,
Ooh.
and Ben White has more goals and assists than our number 9.
Because Nkunku
Something like,
had 3 goals this season.
Who hasn't played. I mind he probably has. He's probably on pace to even surpass Jesus.
I won't lie though, Jesus. There needs to be a whole episode on this the gimmick that is, because it's so weird. It's like I can't with my full chest say the guy is bad. I can't, and nobody that I talk to can ever say
Bro,
the guy is bad.
I can't tell you he's bad, but I can tell you he's not a striker. I don't know
That's
what
fair.
he is. If there was some 5-a-side Premier League, maybe you go put him there. But I don't know. Like I
Street ball.
can't explain it. Like imagine Kai Havertz has more predatory just instinct. There's somebody that claimed he grew up in the favelas. Like how do you play so timid and you're Brazilian? Anyway, that's talk for another day. My the player that underwhelmed me the most this season is Martinelli. Coming from 15 non-penalty
Sure.
goals last season and what we saw. And there was another thing about Martinelli, which I'm beginning to grow out of as an Arsenal fan, is looking for excuses. He kept saying he's the left-hand side dynamic. Trossard played on the same left side and banged 13 goals this season. So it's the same chances you are getting.
Yeah.
But Martinelli just couldn't find his shooting
feet,
boots
yeah.
this season. The right wing performance I saw from him against Everton, I don't want to see it ever. I thought him on the left was bad. Him on the right, I was praying they should just put Boniki on Saka and bring him on. It was disgusting. So he let everyone down this season. I hope something changes because
He's still young though. He's still
Yeah,
young. So.
young.
you guys have
It's
seen with the
expected.
manager.
People forget like consistency is a big thing with young
Yeah.
players. Like
Yeah, he needs something because our manager has very, very short patience. We saw it with Fabio Vieira.
I think they should go get competition for him, of course.
Yeah,
but,
we need to.
but then there's also the question of needing backup for Saka. Unless you're gonna say Jesus is the backup, then that means you need to go get a striker. I don't know. The good thing is you guys don't have a lot of problems to fix.
Yeah, we
so-
have the kind of problems that other people would want.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's my own two.
Unlike some of us that need a whole new front three.
Yeah, some guys need managers, some guys need mascots, some guys need stadiums. It's a
Save
slew
the
of problems
bridge.
for everyone. But
Save the bridge.
No,
yeah, so
that's,
guys, we've come to the end of this episode. Please like, share, subscribe, whatever platform you are watching on. If you guys enjoyed me moderating, please let Adams know. Well-
Guys, comment and say never again. Bring back Pios.
Well,
Bring back
Pius.
Pius.
Pius needs to keep his job, man. All right, man. Peace out, guys.
But yeah, on to the next episode. We'll see you guys again. Peace out.
Come on, you Spurs.